It's Mystery Time. Tonight's Mystery Classics stars Laurence Olivier in The Suicide Club.
So he died after all. Was it murder and suicide? Or murder and accidental death?
Good evening. A shuffle of the cards. Then they were dealt out. And if you draw the wrong card, gives me the shivers. So I'm sure you'll listen as intently as I shall. It's that famous, chilling classic by Robert Louis Stevenson, now transcribed, The Suicide Club, starring Laurence Olivier.
This is the story of a frightening adventure. I do not propose to tell you my name, and after you've heard the story, you will perhaps understand why not. One night, in an oyster bar not far from Leicester Square.
What's on earth that fellow doing over there? The one who's just come in.
Huh? It seems to be with those two commissionaires. Each got a dish of something or other, haven't they? Seem to be offering everyone something to eat.
Are they pies or something?
Oh, yes, they look like it. Some sort of tart, I think, yes. They're cream tarts. Cream tarts in an oyster bar. The fellow seems to be giving them away. I'm not surprised.
Well, maybe it's a wager or something.
well, looks as if we're going to be offered some, too.
Will you do me the honor of eating one of these tarts? I can answer for the quality of the pastry. I've eaten 27 of them myself since 5 o'clock.
27? That's rather a lot, isn't
A
it?
matter of principle, sir. Every time my offer is rejected, I insist on eating the tart myself.
All right, then, Colonel. We'll help you out. On one condition. If my friend and I both eat your tarts, you must join us for supper after.
That's a good idea. Well, I've several dozen still on hand, so I'll have to visit a few more bars before I've got rid of them all. If you're already hungry, gentlemen,
So my friend and I will go the round with you. It looks a very pleasant way of passing an evening. Stupid.
Splendid. 2 tarts for the gentleman.
Delicious.
These are cold.
Well, there was obviously a story behind all this nonsense. My friend and I were anxious to hear it. We chose a little French restaurant in Soho, ordered a private room, very good meal, and champagne for the occasion. The young man ate surprisingly well, despite his rather sickly hors d'oeuvres. And over the dessert, we persuaded him to begin his explanation.
There's every reason why I shouldn't tell you my story. So perhaps that's why I'm going to do so.
Good for you.
I come from quite a respectable family, you know, and I started life with quite a reasonable fortune. I had a lot of amusing adventures. Even fought a duel when I was in Paris.
Oh.
By the time I began to come to my senses, I had very little fortune left, and promptly fell in love. After I had nothing left to offer the young lady, I came to the sad conclusion that there was really nothing very much left to live for.
No.
I got rid of all the money I had left down to the last £80, which left me just £40 to get rid of during the course of today.
£40? What happened to the other 40?
That went for a very particular purpose. Well, I've spent a very amusing day getting rid of my last £2 on the cream tarts over which we met. And I wanted to close a foolish life in a particularly foolish manner, which you must admit I did.
Well, I shouldn't deny that, but what happens next?
Oh, I'm not complaining. And at least I'm not a coward. I've lived my life and enjoyed it. So now I simply have to get rid of it.
Get rid of it? You mean kill yourself?
Well, who hasn't often thought of doing that? You know, young fellow, it's a curious coincidence, but of the whole of London, you went and picked on a couple of people in much the same position as yourself.
Yes. What?
You mean you're ruined too? Is this very excellent supper a last extravagance as well? Like my green tart?
Well, near enough. And just to get rid of any slight disparity, let's put £5 here on the table to cover the bill, and have you a match?
Yes?
Thank you. Burn the rest. Like this.
What are you doing? Don't be an utter fool.
Well, aren't we all?
Good heavens, haven't you got any money left at all now? Why didn't you keep your £40?
£40? Why not £40?
Oh, for that matter, why not 80? You must have done the best part of 100.
Well, £40 would have been enough. But without that, no admission. They're very strict about the rules. Fine business when you can't even die without money.
I think you better explain yourself.
Do I have to? If you haven't the £40, what's the point?
Well, I haven't had enough for both of us, which we really needed.
I thought you were in the same straits as I was.
I seem to remember that you had £80 yesterday.
Yes, I had. You're not fooling me. You are as desperate as I am.
Huh? Bored with life, if that's what you mean.
Yes, indeed.
Thought I'd made that clear enough by burning my last money.
Perhaps you can afford to burn £100 or so.
Well, I'm no millionaire, if that's what you mean.
Well, here's to your health. And good night, my merry ruined man.
Oh, no, you can't get out of it like that. You tell me that you're desperate, and I accept the fact. Why should you have less confidence in me? In either of us.
Yes, why?
Then you're not joking. You really are.
Like you, we've had enough of life, haven't we, Colonel?
Yes,
Sooner or later, alone or together, we're prepared to put an end to it.
That's quite
Aren't we,
right.
Colonel?
Yes.
Yes, well, now that we've come across you, and since you seem to be in a hurry, well, we can make it tonight just as easily.
Quite,
Why not all three of us together?
Yes, why not?
That really goes for you as well, Colonel.
Yes, certainly, provided you something in mind.
And you really can put up the £80 between you.
I think so. See, 10, 20, 40, 60, 80 pounds, and a few left over.
I shouldn't forget about the rest. £40 each is the entrance fee.
The entrance fee? Entrance fee to what?
To the Suicide Club. How it's managed or who started the club, I don't exactly know. But what I do know, I'm under the fancy this. If you are really tired of life, both of you, I'll take you to a meeting of the club. And if not tonight, at least sometime within the week, you'll quietly cease to live.
And you say that you're a member of this club?
Yes, I paid my subscription today. I shall be going there in... What time is it? Yes, in half an hour. You've just got half an hour to make up your minds whether you're coming with me or not. If you were serious, then you've nothing to lose. I'll be back for your decision. In half an hour, gentlemen. Now, you have made up your minds, both of you. You don't want to draw back while there's still time.
No, we're not in the habit of drawing back, either of us. No.
Very well, then. We'll take a four-wheeler. Cab!
Wait till sir.
Drive us to the address on this piece of paper.
Very good, sir.
After you, gentlemen. Well, gentlemen, in the circumstances, you'll appreciate that a certain amount of secrecy is called for until you're actually enrolled in the club. You'll forgive me if I take the precaution of blindfolding you both.
Is that necessary?
Yes, I'm afraid it is. You see, gentlemen, this is not a joke.
The cab stopped at last in a dark street, and the young man paid it off. He took advantages of our eyes and invited us to follow him down an alleyway. He knocked at the door. The door was opened, and we were ushered into an entrance hall. The young man left us for a few minutes, and we heard voices. At last, an inner door was opened, and we found ourselves in the presence of the president of the club.
Sit down, gentlemen. I told you wished to see me.
We wish to join your club, sir. The Suicide Club.
Forgive me, gentlemen. You appreciate I have to take precautions. So you wish to join the Suicide Club. May I ask your reasons? Well, I was a colonel till I was cashiered for cheating at cards. And you, sir?
Sheer laziness.
Laziness? I guess you must have a better reason than that.
No, why should I have? I've lost all my money. Can't be bothered to make any more.
If I wasn't so experienced in these things, I should probably turn you both away. As it is, I happen to know that suicide is almost always committed for the most frivolous reasons. Very well, then. If you're prepared to take the oath in the manner prescribed, you will be accepted as members. The oath, I need hardly say, is an oath of secrecy. We're careful to make it binding in the very highest degree. When you have taken the oath, if you're willing to do so, that is, then you'll be enrolled forthwith as members of the Suicide Club.
We have bound ourselves on oath to keep the secrets of the Suicide Club. Nothing could be conceived more passive than the obedience promised, or more stringent than the terms to which we had agreed. The man who broke that oath of silence could scarcely have a rag of honor or any of the consolations of religion left to him. We signed the document, but not without a shudder. The president received our entrance money, and without more ado took us through into the smoking room of the Suicide Club. There we were introduced to our fellow members. This a full muster of the club?
Oh, middling. By the way, if you have any money, it's usual to offer champagne. It keeps up a good spirit, and it's one of my little perquisites.
I shall have to leave that to you, I'm afraid, Colonel.
That's in the 4 bottles, with my compliments. Thank you very much. Oh, please make yourselves at home.
He looked about us with interest. Few of the other members were much above 30, and 1 or 2 were still in their teens. One man interested me intensely. He was probably upwards of 40, but he looked fully 10 years older. I've never seen a man more naturally hideous, nor one more ravaged by his excesses. He was partly paralyzed, and was the only man in the room who shared the composure of the president. I got into conversation with him.
So you are newcomers, are you? Well, perhaps I can help to set your mind at rest. I've been coming here regularly for 2 years now.
2 years? But I thought members could only expect to last for a week or so.
Ah, yes, but my case is peculiar. I'm not, properly speaking, a suicide at all. Merely an honorary member. I only visit the club once every 2 months or so. My infirmity, you know. And I pay a special rate. Even so, my luck has been quite extraordinary.
Your luck? I'm afraid still don't really understand.
Oh, no, of course not. An ordinary member who comes here looking for death, like you, returns every evening till fortune favors him. He can even live on the premises, quite cheaply. The president's company is worth the money in itself.
Indeed, I shouldn't have thought it.
Oh, but you don't know the man. The drollest fellow. What stories and what cynicism.
I take it he's a permanency like yourself.
The only permanency, really. So far I've been graciously spared, but I must go at last. But the president never plays, of course. He shuffles and deals for us and makes all the necessary arrangements. He's been running the club for over 3 years, and not a whisper of suspicion has been aroused. Quite astonishing when you come to think of it.
And he assists the members to commit suicide?
Yes, indeed. The whole thing's in his hands. You remember the case last week, the man who was accidentally poisoned in a chemist's
I
shop?
read about it in the papers.
Beautifully arranged. Though one of our president's less racy notions, but how simple and how safe.
You mean that man was one of the victims? I mean, one of your members?
Of course. Nearly every accident which you read about in the papers, in decent society, of course, is arranged for one or other of our members. Ex-members, I should
You
say.
have to forgive me, I'm still in the dark. You say that you've been lucky enough in lasting so long. I thought that the whole idea was to die as quickly as possible.
Well, actually, but as I explained, I'm a special case. To me, the club is a sort of temporal intoxication. If I could stand the excitement, I should come here more often. As it is, I regard this as the ultimate in dissipation. I think I can say I've tried every other sort.
I can well believe it, if you'll excuse me saying so.
I'm flattered. Some people get their greatest excitement out of love or gambling or crime. To me, there's nothing so exciting as fear. In fact, you can envy me. I'm an utter coward. To such as me, the club offers particular excitement.
It does. I'm still in the dark. How is the excitement, as you call it, arranged?
Of course, I must tell you how the victim, I think that was your word, how the victim is selected every evening. But not only the victim, the other member who is to act for the club and becomes death's high priest for the occasion.
You mean they kill each other?
Why, yes, the trouble of committing suicide is removed that way.
You mean one of us made a pick this evening to kill one of the other?
Why not? We should merely be doing him a service he requires. Would you refuse to oblige a friend?
Well, since you say that the game is interesting and exciting, how is it played?
And the members sit round the table and the president shuffles and deals the cards, one at a time to each member in turn. The member turns up his card, and I assure you, the suspense is almost unbearable. Exquisite.
One of the cards means that the member is to die.
Exactly. The ace of spades is the card of death.
And the card that turns him into a murderer?
We prefer to say, appoints him official of the night. That's another ace. The ace of clubs.
Now I could understand. Only too clearly. The man sitting by himself in the window, his head hanging, hands thrust deep in his trouser pockets, pale and sweating with fear. A wreck in soul and body. I could understand the cynical smile on the face of the president, the only one in the room who had nothing to lose by the game, who charged each man the price of his death or the hire of the killer. At last, we met again the man who had brought us to the club, the young madman of the cream tarts. Is this your first night here as a member? I take it that it is.
Yes, as I say, quite a few of my friends have been members in the past. That's how I came to hear about it, while they were waiting for their ace of spades. You may remember a certain baronet who was crushed to death by a falling wall last month.
Yes, I seem to remember him. Was he a member as well?
He brought me with him to the door the night of the accident. Nobody outside this room knew what really happened to him. I remember who obliged him was drowned in a boating accident the following weekend. I hope to be as fortunate.
On your first night? Isn't that rather unlikely?
Unlucky at love, you know. Lucky at cards. I lay you 5 to 1 that I draw the ace tonight.
I thought you'd spent your last sovereign on cream tart.
Oh, I'm sorry. Of course I did. Well, wish me luck anyway.
Well, I wish you all that you wish yourself.
I wish you the same.
If it's your pleasure, gentlemen.
Well, this will decide it. One way or the other.
A pair of folding doors had been thrown open, and the whole room full of men began to pass into the next room. The gaming room itself was similar in every way to the one which we had left, except for the furniture. The center of the room was occupied by a long green table, at the head of which the president seated himself. In front of him was a pack of cards, which he began to shuffle and cut with careful deliberation. 13 members sat down at the table. My friend and I, between the young man and the semi-paralyzed honorary member.
Very well, gentlemen. For the benefit of our new members, each of you must declare the card that's been dealt to him before I deal the card to his neighbor. Is that understood?
Yes.
Very well, then. I will begin to deal.
Fool of hearts. Knave of spades. 10 hearts. Queen of hearts. 3 of clubs. 8 of diamonds.
7 of clubs.
Knave of diamonds.
Ace of hearts.
What? No. No.
I must ask you to declare your cards, sir.
The ace of clubs.
The ace of clubs. The card of the killer had been dealt to the young man of the cream tart. He dropped it on the table, his face whiter than the pasteboard, then left his place at the table and stumbled back into the smoking room. The excitement around the gaming table was now electric. The killer was known, and somewhere among the remaining 12 was the victim. Hope, fear, envy, and abject terror shone from the watching eyes of the players. Striking contrast to the cynical smile of the dealer.
5 of hearts.
King of spades.
4 diamonds.
The card had not been dealt to every member on the table. The president began to deal the second round.
Ace of clubs. Queen of spades.
5 of clubs.
6 of diamonds. 7 of spades.
King of hearts.
2 of diamonds.
And once again, the dealer come round to me. As I turned my card on the table, my heart was pounding in my chest. 10 of hearts. And now it was the turn of my neighbor, the honorary member.
The ace of spades. No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Game for the night was at an end. As we left the room, the president beckoned to the young man of the green tart. The man who had hoped to die was receiving his instructions as official of the night. My friend and I made our escape as quickly as we could. We hailed a hansom cab which took us back to our homes and back to some degree of sanity. Next morning, my friend came round to call on me after breakfast.
Well, have you seen it? In this morning's paper?
No? What? I haven't looked at the papers yet.
Then read this.
Mr. Bartholomew Malthus, well known in social circles, and Sir Andrew Flann were killed in a fall from the 4th floor window of the former's town residence. It appears that Sir Andrew had offered to assist Mr. Malthus up the stairs to his apartment, as the latter was suffering from the effects of a partial stroke. On emerging from the lift, it is thought that Mr. Malthus must have been seized with an attack of giddiness, which caused Sir Andrew to lead into an open window at the end of the corridor. It is thought that one of the gentlemen must then have stumbled, and that the other, in trying to save him, was dragged through the window in his turn.
The honor, remember? And the young man with the cream top.
So he died after all. Was it murder and suicide? Or murder and accidental death? I wonder.
Whatever it was, the world can spare them. Both of them.
Yes. And only one thing lacking to make it poetic justice.
You mean the president?
Yes. The president of the Suicide Club. What is the ultimate fate of those other members of the club? Whether the club is still in existence, or whether the murderer whose brain conceives it came to a violent end in turn, that is something I shall never know. All I know is this, that I never read of a fatal accident in the papers now, without wondering whether it was an accident, or just one further member of an association of madmen whose £40 had been paid to join the Suicide Club.